What's up, Mad World? Today we have Pat Lee. He was involved in Transformers, DC and Marvel Comics, some mega franchises like Batman, Superman, Iron Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Devil May Cry. Right now, he's also the Chief Creative Director of YouCollect, the ultimate collecting experience platform. What's up, Pat?
What's up, man?
Congratulations to the new MADminds NFT series.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You know how many nights I didn't sleep and I get that?
How many nights of sleep you didn't get?
Yeah, I didn't sleep for a few nights just to get that.
Oh, yeah. It was a little mad. Yeah, it was a little crazy.
Should be mad. Yeah. How did you start everything? Like the concept of this time, you got a Albert Einstein, right?
The brand interference has been around for a couple years. We did like an Einstein piece for the show, and we called it Virtual Genius. Yeah, we just wanted to intertwine like this kind of technology with a historical individual, like Albert Einstein, and look at the twists and turns of like how technology has changed through, in history and stuff. And then when the MAD team came up to us and said, hey, let's do something, let's drop a cool NFT as a launch. And I just really loved the idea. And then we just merged some thoughts together and, creating this whole cool campaign, in which we're so excited about how it turned out the first drop. So the whole thing is all sold out, like was sold out pretty fast, so we're pretty excited. Yeah,
first drop, that means there's more to come, right?
Yeah.
But
there's always more to come.
Yeah, of course. But why is it Albert Einstein though? Like there's so many geniuses in the world, but the first one's him. We had kind of thought about who we were trying to think about, like in terms of our history of other, I don't want to say who because there's up and coming, but we went through a whole line of different possible people. But we felt Einstein was kind of the most popular, I would say, and also he's so incredibly intelligent. And we wanted to merge like technology and how technology fuses with Einstein. What if Einstein was merged with technology, artificial intelligence? Would it make him even smarter, or is he already smart enough that he would outsmart technology? You know what I mean? So we just felt it was a really good pair up for the very first launch of the campaign, and so we decided to go with Virtual Genius. Nice.
Yeah.
So how did you come across working with MADworld, and what concept did you think of to collaborate with them?
Well, yeah, it's really interesting because both of us have this really all these different creative ideas where YouCollect's focused on supporting creative, and also the MAD team they're also primarily focused on creative and supporting their intellectual property and helping them monetize those intellectual properties. And so it was just a perfect kind of fit together to create this NFT campaign. So we stitched it up and kind of put it together, and both of us felt really confident and comfortable about what they were doing and what YouCollect was doing, and it was just a really beautiful synergy, and the outcome was just phenomenal.
It is. Like I see a lot of different artists that they want to get into the NFT world, but then they have no idea how, but they're all talented and with their brilliant concepts. So that's how you guys merged together. So MADworld, what's MAD stand for?
Well, it really stands for a Multiverse Artist Defender, and essentially it's really about creators, IPs, and representing all kinds of different type of artists. Not just digital artists, but painters and graffiti artists, illustrators, designers, and essentially it's to explore the idea of taking your creativity and bringing it into a platform so that artists can be more creative and look at different methods on how to monetize their creativity. Yeah, to showcase like a new, because NFT is really new. It's fresh, right? So it's just a really kind of a new platform, a new way for creative individuals to do something different, and at the same time it's changing all the time. Like every month there's like something new in the digital space, and I think this is not something to be sometimes people are like, they don't really know anything about NFT, or they're worried about not protected their assets and stuff like that, or their creativity. And it really works no different than than the real thing, like having a physical product, right? Like, so the MADworld team is there to also to ensure that the creativity is protected and to help you build an awareness and understanding of new ventures and new methods of how to reach a wider audience, because everything is moving into the digital spectrum.
Yeah.
And it's changing so incredibly rapidly. AI technology, selling digital assets and so forth. It's a very different time now than 5-10 years ago. So
Pat, you have been drawing a lot, doing a lot of physical creative back in the days and now, and this time the MADminds series, NFT. Is there any difficult from the physical and the digital creative?
Well, I mean, it's. I think that what's interesting about the campaign is that we're trying. The MAD team is also utilizing the physical aspect of the drop as well, right? So you have this campaign that's digital, but also we'll be doing mini sculptures. So we're pairing it up. The team is pairing it up, and I think that's the real fun of it, right? Because. Not everyone is totally into just the digital. A lot of people still like to collect toys and collect sculptures. So with the Virtual Genius, the first Mad Drop was that we paired it up with physical and also with digital as well. So it also reaches a wider audience, and it gets people excited, and the toy collectors excited, and the digital collectors excited. So it's a very interesting campaign because it's very one of a kind, unique.
Well, for the Virtual Genius, you have the ideas, the concept before the NFT drops, right? But then, for now, would you think of something more crazy ideas that it won't be existing in the physical world for the NFT world?
Okay, I mean, I could say this in terms of, I don't know if this fully answers your question, but I do want to say this, is that as we're going through the process of developing the Einstein and seeing the results of it and how successful it was, creatively that gave us a lot of insight and creative ideas on how to do the next one. So we're really excited about doing the next drop, actually even more than the first drop, because there's so much things that we're doing creatively to enhance the experience of the buyer. And so that's going to be really fun, and people will see that coming very soon. But I think the whole physical aspect of it is really cool because I've just been in the toy industry and the comic book industry of manga, anime, plus also US comic books and toys. So it's really fun to be able to create something from my own personal experiences through the last 25-30 years of having these my own collection, and being able to create something that I feel that people would be interested in. Yeah, so it's been a really fun experience, and I think creating toys with the Mad Drop thing was very fun to create, because everyone had their own thoughts and processes and stuff like that, and it's a really fun team, and we were able to just be able to create something very unique.
And it's so exciting when you're waiting for what you're gonna get, you don't know what you're buying.
Well,
right?
I mean, even for us as the creators, right? When we create a toy and then we see it coming from after we see it completed and we get it in our hands, sometimes we're like, we want to keep it ourselves, so, but it's it's a really fun experience, just the whole process of seeing it being drawn, and then seeing it sculpted by our 3D team, and then seeing the final product, and being able to share that experience to our collectors and the people that did buy the digital asset, so it's a really fun experience as a whole.
So the Virtual Genius has been dropped. If you didn't get it, don't worry, that you can search on the market, but then we look for it on the second, third, fourth, more drops, right?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the new MADworld's concept and the new Pat Lee's concept of the following drops. And right now we're gonna do the question for the community.
Okay.
The MADworld community.
Sure.
How do you see about the NFT world right now and the future? And what's the difference between the physical art industry and the digital art industry right now?
Well, I mean, I think the whole concept of creating digital art through the blockchain system is not going to go anywhere. Instead, it's going to evolve further and more. It may transform to a certain degree, into something where people have more access to it, but I don't think that it's going anywhere. It's just going to keep evolving. And eventually you'll see everyone have an NFT. Like it'll be just the norm. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think in the past, like you first brought up the idea of Bitcoin 6 years ago or 7 years ago. People are like, oh, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, oh, they heard about it, but you know, but now everyone knows about what Bitcoin is. In terms of the creativity in the digital space, I mean, relatively, it's always been there. Ever since I started my first career in comics, like, you know, we were using Photoshop and we had digital files and, you know, but it was harder to, you know, to get. But now it's just with the advancement of technology, now artists have the ability to work on their iPad, download, there's, I don't know, like tons and tons of apps, and you could do everything on your iPad now. And so the newer generation is not going to know anything about a pencil, like, you know, on paper, or, you know, even like a painting. Like a lot of people are just like fused to their iPads and just like, not to say that they won't try like doing a painting, or, you know, that there won't be any love for it. My favorite is acrylic painting, you know, hands down. Like I love digital art, but sometimes it's nice to take a break and, you know, do some acrylic or oil painting and stuff like that. But even if you do acrylic and oil painting, you can still scan it, turn it into an NFT, you know, and not just sell the original artwork or make prints, physical prints, but you can sell it as an NFT. It's just an extension for creativity and an extension to generate revenue through.
So next question.
Yeah.
How did you get into art, and what gets your inspiration?
I love research. I love researching. I'm like a sponge. Like when I look at something, I look at the color, the texture, the size, the history of it. I love to research on history. And I think that's another reason why I really enjoyed like this whole MADminds project thing, because we're talking about like, you know, people that existed that were like super intelligent, super creative, like Tesla. You know, Tesla was really fun to do because there's a lot of research that we went into to understand him, his personality, his career, you know, and what he experienced, the competitions that he had while he was, you know, even though he was a genius, he also still had to get people to believe in his projects as well, right? In order for people to invest their time and money into, you know, his creations. So, you know, Tesla was a guy who really enjoyed sitting on a bench, and he loved just like feeding pigeons all day. He was really invested into that idea that gave him a certain level of peace. And, you know, his mother always thought that he was brilliant ever since that he was since he was a child. And it's very interesting to see his highs and lows, you know. And so all these things in his life and through the research, if you look at the colors, the way we create the illustration, all of that information was embedded into like, you know, every stroke, every line that we create in the art that we create for Tesla, you know, with it in mind. So we study the history first of each character or each person, and then we want to really pay respect to each individual person as well. So we have to do all the research before we create the asset.
So what excites you the most about MADworld, and specifically about the MADminds project?
Well, I think it's great that we have like a really cool piece of art asset that's digital, but I think it's more about the utilities, like the utilities in terms of being able to utilize it more than just having like a digital asset, but you know, being able to go across other platforms like Animoca and being able to utilize it in their space as well. And yeah, it just has more versatility, and rather than just being a typical like, you know, image that you put in your wallet and, you know, then it, you know, you resell it later or something like that. But I think that's where I think what the MAD team is doing is moving in, you know, taking the lead in that direction right now, and it's going to be very important in the future because there's so much out there, right? Yeah. Like there's so much like digital assets and all these digital NFTs out there, but what's going to make your NFT stand out differently from other people, right? It's really about what more can your digital asset do more than just be a piece of art. Is it a key? Is it something that can be used like later on? And I think that's what the whole thing about what the MADworld has right now is that they're able to, you know, take an asset and be able to you know, develop into this utility where you can use it more than just a piece of art.
So I know there's 8 MADminds you're working on. Which one is your favorite, and which one's the most difficult to create?
Well, actually, I haven't finished like all 8 of them yet, right? So, and the cool thing is about it is like I mentioned earlier, it's like the each art piece we do, it's evolving. And getting more detailed because we actually listen to what like other people would like to see, and so we try to listen carefully, and at the same time we try to incorporate more creative ideas into each one. So I have no idea how the 8th one is going to look like, and it could be the 7th or the 8th one. I'll definitely let everyone know like once I create all 8. Yeah,
so just stay tuned, right?
Stay tuned, man.
Stay tuned, everybody. It's been an exciting chat with Pat because I know there's a lot going on with on MADworld, and there's a lot of different MADminds series coming up. Anything you want to say to the community and your fans?
Well, I just want to say that the digital space is just an awesome place to be. Like, I'm a very traditional artist, actually. My background really comes from comic books and painting and stuff, and I still love that, but don't be afraid to jump into like doing technology, doing artwork and having it in like the tech space as well. It's a growing market. Right now is the best time to kind of jump in and be a part of it, and I think that once you get involved into it, it's so fun and it's so exciting. Like all the stuff that we're doing, all the creative campaigns that we're creating, it's stuff that I've never thought that we could have done, like ever done before. And I think it's such a great market and a great space to be in. And and try to just learn more information. If you're an artist out there, learn more about it and see how you can, turn your artwork into NFTs and just invest some time into it, and you'll find that it's really fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So welcome to MADworld. Stay in touch on the Discord community, and you keep update, and maybe Pat will show up sometimes. Right?
Yeah, man. For sure.
All right. Thank you, Pat.
Yeah, man. Anytime.